In sprint car racing, there are some amazing people and amazing efforts, and I love when this community comes together. When somebody is in need or a sprint car community is in need, Erin, we've seen it time after time after time again. The sprint car community rallies around. It's a family more so than a community.
It really is. And, I feel like all of motorsports is that way, but the sprint car community especially. And I tell people going back to when I came and tried stock cars for a few years, went back and raced the World of Outlaws, and I felt like I was home. People, there's just, I don't know if it's because of the lifestyle, the amount of travel, the amount of time, whatever it is, there's just, to me, something different about the sprint car world that makes it special, and you feel like you're always surrounded by people who truly care.
I wonder if it's the gypsy lifestyle. And
I think
even though some are outlaws and some are posse and some are all-stars and some are California, they all kind of touch each other. We all get Knoxville in August, except for this year. But I wonder if it's that gypsy lifestyle that maybe we don't even do it together, but we respect and understand it.
I think that's definitely part of it. Well, some of it is you do travel with these people. And when I say travel, it's not like you're flying in and out of these races. You're stopping at a rest area, you bump into them. You're staying at some nasty hotel, you bump into them. But I also think, and this is just my personal opinion, in the sprint car world, there's a level of passion that you really find there. Like, most people don't come to sprint car racing because they're like, hey, I'm going to make a lot of money doing this.
Right, yeah, that's not
what you go because you've fallen in love with the sport, and you're there because you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, that passion for it, for sure. One of the single most passionate individuals is Rico Abreu. And one of the single most amazing elements is when the California fires hit a few weeks ago, the outpouring, Rico kind of led the communication, if you will, because it was in his backyard, quite literally. But it amazes me how the community sticks together. So, and then Rico with a lot of charity initiatives. I mean, this guy has a heart of gold.
Absolutely. His whole family.
His whole family does. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to talk to Rico about that. We're going to talk a little racing. We're going to have all kinds of fun. Oh, love when we get to dial up Rico. That's right. Let's do it. Before we do that, speaking of racing, speaking of passion, how about Danny Dietrich up in Pennsylvania? It is the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, the final night of the season, or the first night of the Icebreaker Countdown, as it's known. And Danny Dietrich from third to first with Tyler Ross and Bradley Howard in between was on Flow Racing. Here's Wayne Harper with the call.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
There are your three leaders down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Howard still your leader. Dietrich has moved into second as he gets past Ross, and he will challenge for the race lead. Danny Dietrich, your new race leader.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All DEF, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion. Performance. We are Team Dryden.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Wing Nation, presented by Dryden, by DRF Racing, and by Hercules Tires, rolls along. We're in the Hercules Tires studios. As we talked about during the break, our guest for today, get a chance to catch up with our buddy from out in California. Rico Abreu is on the line. Hello, Rico. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Yes, how are you?
We are doing well. How are you? How are things in your world? I know it's been a crazy last 6 weeks or so. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been crazy at home, but everything's everything's starting to be back to normal, and we're all safe and all here.
Rico, when all that was going on with the fires, you posted some incredible videos with the tanks coming into to your property, closeness to the fire, like what was just try to for us that haven't experienced, what was that like? I mean, it looked like some really, really intense times, and looks like you were right there in the middle of it, doing all you could to help.
Yeah, it's scary at times. There's so many emotions. We were on Sunday. I don't know. I've lost track of so many days, but on Sunday before the fire started, I was already kind of scheduled to come home, and I came home right as the fire was burning through the backside of a couple of our ranches. So we were there to. They evacuated our town. They evacuated this Calistoga, all the areas kind of where the fire was burning, and they were. We stayed to save our ranch because the fire was so spread out through the Napa Valley that it was hard for fire crews to get there and to be at all of these different homes or wineries or barns. And so we have a bunch of livestock on our property, so we really put a bunch of effort into saving our livestock barns. And yeah, it was it got really intense. It got really scary. You really can test yourself on seeing where you're at as a person. I think when you are in life-threatening moments like that, and not so much being able to just understand kind of what's going on and how dangerous it really is, and knowing that, okay, it is time to go now that if the fire got so threatening that you were going to lose your barn or your house, and if there's no one there to help you, then it becomes a lot more difficult to try to save those structures.
What type of systems, mechanism, ways can you defend against that fire?
So we're really lucky because my father's in the vineyard management business, where he manages people's ranches for them to farm their grapes for them, and so his whole business model or his whole structure is having extraordinary amounts of water in big tanks on your ranches to irrigate your vineyard during times like droughts and when there's if they ever started regulating water. So we have a lot of water on our property with hookups inside the vineyard, next to the barns, and basically like fire hydrants. They're big, like 2-inch water lines that can hold a lot of pressure, and then you put the water tanks on top of the hill, so then you can gravity fed it. So if your power's out, your well doesn't have to pump water through your tanks, and these are like 100,000-gallon water tanks. So it's we were very lucky to have basically an unlimited amount of supply of water at the times of the fires, and then any fire engines that came, you can just hook right up to their truck, and then they can nurse out of their trucks, because the fire trucks only hold about 400 gallons of water, and that's not a lot when you're fighting a fire, really. So it's my brother and I and my family have really learned a lot through this experience, and just being able to defend our ranch, just because it's hard for people to be there and help.
Wow, that's fascinating. Did you guys lose a lot? It's hard to tell us on the East Coast. You try to follow along, and it looked like, obviously you're safe and sound, but were you able to keep everything safe, or did you lose some things?
Yeah, so some is gone. We had a ranch on the east side of our valley that when the fire was burning on the west side and the east side at the same time, it was hard to be in two places at once. So everyone kind of put their effort into the ranch on the west side with the go-kart track and the livestock. and we had a couple homes, but not my home or my father's home, but my brother's home, and there wasn't anyone there to save it. So we lost those homes, but the vineyard land is okay. The forest land is like all gone. The news makes it sound way worse. It is a very scary look around here, and there was a lot of homes and wineries lost. But we were okay with our personal homes, and this one ranch was really affected.
Wow.
So there's forest land and there's winery land, and it sounds like the forest is what got a lot of it in your instance, and the wineries were somewhat saved.
Yeah, some wineries obviously are gone
Sure.
due to the fires. More so the wineries that kind of butted up to the forest land or the hillside where the fire was burning. In different areas, it burned a lot more aggressive, where they couldn't really get in and save these big wineries. And so they break. So they have there's vineyard land. The vineyard land's really hard for it to burn where the vineyard is because it's just dirt and grapevines, and there's not much really fuel, we call it, to burn like underneath the trees or the treetops or something. So when it goes through the forest land and then it gets to a vineyard, it kind of dies out because there's really not much for it to burn inside the vineyard. And then if it gets to a structure that was backed into the winery or backed into the forest land, then that's where they get really hard to defend.
Wow, fascinating. I'm learning a lot about the wildfires. Rico, I saw that after all you clean up and everything you guys have put together at the Madrona Ranch, I think, where it's like a harvest festival, a pumpkin patch. What has it been like in the community since things have started to return to normal?
Yeah, it's been great. I think people are really enjoying it. So my brother and my family have been working on a pumpkin patch since June. He planted all the pumpkins, 400 seeds. So it got to about, I think you can do 5 or 6 pumpkins on plant. And then obviously a bunch of different varietals. But he's throwing this patch, and everyone's been driving by and wondering what's going on there. And it's been really cool to see the community kind of get out of their homes, and people that haven't quite got back to work yet during the COVID stuff and then the fires, and everyone's kind of coming back home now from evacuations. And it's been great to see. The biggest thing is the kids running around and getting outside, and there's hay bale pyramids and animal zones where you can pet the goats, and then you can go out and pick your own pumpkin. You can find the one you like and pick it, and it's all within walking distance of our town. So our town's never really had anything like that. So it's been really cool to see a lot of the positivity from the families that haven't had much to do, get out and just come relax, really.
It's neat to hear you talk about community as in the town you live in. We started the show, Erin and I talked about community as far as the racing world we live in. And I remember a couple years ago, we talked to Kyle Hurst when Paradise was lost. And we just sit here and just like, you don't even know what to do. The outreach, the reaction to your tweets from the racing community as a whole, Rico, as we've all been pulling for you as you've had that fight going on. What has that been like, knowing that we feel helpless, but at least our thoughts and prayers and good vibes are with you?
It's been incredible just because it's people really, I don't know if they actually realize the effect that they have on other people, and you see so much you see so much negativity in some parts of the world, and then you see so much positivity. And so when I see those messages and I read them, and you're going through tough times like now, it really is uplifting. And then I can bring that all back to, my family doesn't necessarily have a lot of social media accounts or a big following, so they can see that, and it's uplifting to them as well. So it's really cool, and I feel really loved. So it's a really cool feeling that you have, and I feel like these people, they have my back no matter what, and that's a good feeling to have right now in this time of life we're living.
Absolutely. Like Steve said, we talked about at the beginning of the show, the racing community, the support. I saw Mark Weber sent you a note. I saw messages for you from around the world, and I thought it was so neat. But that like you said, the racing community is special. I think of even the stuff that you're doing with dwarfism awareness and breast cancer awareness this month. You and Megan and all of your family really do a lot to help others as well.
Yeah, and it's all from the heart where it comes from. I just feel like you have to spread that love back, and you get so much towards you, and you have to do something to give it back, or and it has to do with the connection with people and fans that really creates all that. I have really been following like Dan McMahon's story, and then a couple different little people that have been coming to the races and supporting me from, years ago. And then you finally, figure out a way you can do to give back to the community or give back to, an organization that has done so well. So I think it's really cool. And I'm in a really unique position where I can do that and really push it and use my fan base and my following to an advantage of giving them. I could give more money to these organizations and do more with them. When you have such a bigger following like that.
Rico, the dwarf community, the little people that come to the racetrack, it's amazing to me, the connection. And do you sense the hope, or do you sense the hope that you can provide to people that live their life as you have lived yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is I've seen a difference. I just now you just have to be consistent with it, and you have to make the my whole ultimate goal is to make these people feel comfortable. No matter if it's someone with a special need or anything, is make them feel comfortable to any circumstance they're approaching, really. And I think I was in that position one day where I didn't feel comfortable, so then you don't do it, and you potentially miss out on an extremely important opportunity for yourself. And then I found I found racing and the positivity that racing brought to my life, where I was able to do something I truly loved. And then, so I want to push that towards people, and the little people in America or in the world that have become fans of racing because of me. I think it's really cool and unique that that it's important for them to understand that they could go do whatever they want whenever they want. So I don't want people to feel like they're limited to the things they can do, really, because of their size or their need. Or I have a really good friend with Down syndrome, and he spent the weekend with me, and he wanted to drink a beer, he got to drink a beer. He was able to do these things, and he can ride a motorcycle, and you see this in people, and that's what really brings the light out of people, I think, is them able to doing the things they want to do in a positive aspect more so.
Well, we just I mean, it almost leaves me speechless, but I love what you're doing. And like you said, it doesn't apply necessarily to just little people. You're doing stuff for breast cancer. You're helping with Down syndrome. It applies across the board. There's people that suffer from anxiety, all different things. So what you're doing is inspiring for everyone. Rico, go ahead.
I enjoy it. And I think that's the difference between me and some other people, is that I truly enjoyed getting to do it. So it's what keeps me fueled up.
That's awesome. And speaking of fueled up, you actually got to get back in the car. Was it last weekend at Ocean Speedway? We haven't talked much about racing, but 2020's obviously been crazy. But just talk about the racing you've done.
I've had a little bit of success this year. A lot of good consistency through some months, and then some months we kind of got outside of our box and struggled a little bit. And I felt like there was some big races we had a shot at winning this year, and a lot closer than I've been in the past. So I got 2 more races coming up, and I'm just enjoying it. I got a good team that's helping me. Zach and David Robinson, and there's so many people outside of that are at the races with me that help me. So it's really cool to have some success and some of their knowledge be a part of our team. And I've had a lot of fun racing this year. It's been a lot of work, but I've truly enjoyed it.
How challenging has it been with schedules changing every day, it seems like, and races on and races off, and a big part of what you do is Rico's van and fans not allowed early on and fans there. How big of a challenge has the logistics of it been this year for you and your guys to pull this all together?
Yeah, it was at the beginning of the year, a lot of the travel was, changing, and I try to get ahead of that stuff, but it's hard to not knowing, where you're going to be racing. And then we're all, racers. So they change the track and it could be 5 hours away and, you're changing direction and driving south 5 hours. So, we just all love to race and we'll do whatever it takes.
Rico, you mentioned you had a few more races this year, but looking to 2021, which gosh knows, we have no idea what that may look like. But have you put thought into what will you keep with the type of schedule you originally started with this year, kind of like a true outlaw, or have you put much thought into 2021?
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep kind of this true outlaw, schedule the same, and go to races that pay good, and then go to races where you have an incredible fan base at certain tracks, and keep supporting it, like the Jacksonville, Illinois, and keep supporting those little places. I think that's really important for sprint car racing. I feel like sprint car racing has so much heat behind it right now, just with how cool, I feel like the TV stuff has really taken off, and then people not being able to, limited races, where it's 2021 is going to be a really cool year for everyone in the sprint car industry, and I feel like there's so much potential left in sprint car racing with getting some national television coverage, and the racing is so exciting to me, and it's quick. You're in and out within a couple hours, and you're on to the next track. So that's why I love sprint car racing so much, and it's everyone's. It's definitely a really competitive industry, and there's a lot of race cars, and there's a lot of people wanting to race, and there's a lot of fans, getting to these tracks here at the end of the year that are that haven't been able to.
Rico, you have been very aggressive with your merchandising, with your marketing. There's even a Twitter account for Rico's Van. Everyone wants to know where Rico's Van is coming to the racetrack. The thought behind that, the process behind that, just the energy you put into that, and how neat it is to go into a racetrack and see people wearing your T-shirts and hats. We've even got a picture of our president, Chris Schwartz, with the Rico hat with the mullet on. He is the least mullet-like person on the planet. But what does that mean to you to feel that support? I know there's dollars and cents, but what's it like to feel that support?
Yeah, it's really cool, and I think the biggest thing is allowing people to, is the whole social media thing is connecting with fans and people. So I want to make sure I get my personality out there so people can, understand who I am. When at the races, I can't really sit there and hang out with everybody, and I don't go, Knoxville's probably the only place where I'm outside the racetrack and having a good time after the races, So I feel like I'm limited to the fan access and I want to build that through social media where people can feel comfortable to approaching me. That's all it is for me is building that comfortability and people to want to come up and take a photo, and you're the if you can build new fans or introduce new fans to, the sprint car industry, then that's a new fan that, that's a new person that I have the opportunity to, give them the opportunity to purchase something on our store or at the track, or, they fall in love with this person, and I have to make sure that, I'm consistently that same person too, outside the racetrack and at the racetrack. But if they can't see me, if they can't see me at the track, then why can't I build that relationship with them through the social media network?
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's fascinating what we can do these days. It really, truly is. You can, of course, go to Shop Rico's store and then proceeds again going to. There's the breast cancer shirt, and then there's the Dwarfism Awareness Month as well.
I'm signing all those shirts too. So
I need to
it's
get
kind of
on
a 2
there.
for 1. They'll get a Dwarfism shirt signed from me, and all the profits are going to a Dwarfism Awareness organization.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Final question for you: how's the mullet? Is it still flowing and growing? Is it still doing all right?
I haven't cut it in about 6 months, so it's I combed it this morning after the shower, and it's down past my shoulder blades. So I don't know what I'm gonna do here.
That's all right. It's all right.
It's probably the longest it's ever been.
I'm working on the Rico I'm working on the Rico starter kit here, so I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it because I want my hair like Rico. So that's my goal here. So all good.
I see a lot of mullets out there. I mean, at the races.
I know.
Trendsetter.
More than ever, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It really
We're changing times, Steve.
Yep. No, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Don't get Ray involved in this.
Don't
please.
get wait a minute.
Well, just get him the hat. All right?
Get Ray the hat. There you go.
Yeah, it can be a temporary.
Yeah.
Turn it on and turn it off whenever you want.
Exactly.
That's it. Exactly. Rico, always a pleasure to chat with you. Appreciate you sharing your story with the Flares and your passion with the sprint cars. Thanks so much for the time today.
Thank you.
There we go. Rico Abreu joining us. I thought, Erin, during that conversation with Rico about the community out there and doing things for other people and the kindness and the hope that he gives to little people. I just look at Rico, and I think in our world, in our culture, in our times here, sitting here in October with the absolute cluster mess, I'll use that word, that is social media, that is life as we know it, we need more Rico.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just amazing.
And well, I think what really hit me is when he talked about doing all this giving back, and he said, I do it because I love it. It is what gives me fuel. It was so genuine. There's a lot of people that want to give back and do give back, and a lot of people have good hearts, but he is so, you could just hear it in his voice. Like it makes him happy to do it. And we need more of that.
Listening to him think about those kids out there in his hometown with an upcoming visit to the pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
You think about a kid's perspective when the fires roll through and the hell that they have lived through. And yet at some point over the next week or two, they're going to go run around a pumpkin patch and pick pumpkins. And there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of big things that people do, but sometimes there's a lot of little things that people do that will be night and day different. That a child that is traumatized right now, a trip to the
COVID,
pumpkin,
fires,
exactly. Because by the way, we've been locked down.
They haven't been in school, and
they haven't been in school and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where the heart is, and I think at the top of the show we talked about Rico's big heart, and I came across there
without a doubt.
Yeah, just amazing. We are a better planet, we're a better country, we're a better world, we're a better sprint car community with Rico in it. And it's 100%. Been phenomenal. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So appreciate Rico taking some time and sharing all that is going on. And I can't imagine, it's quite the whirlwind, that's for sure. But it was good. I actually tuned into Flow Racing and watched the Johnny Key Classic at Ocean Speedway, and it was great to see Rico wheeling that car, knowing what the last month or 6 weeks has been like. you just know that getting back behind the wheel of that car and getting out there and, hanging out in the
Normalcy.
pits and,
Yep.
the Katings are there, all the buds are there, all the friends are there. That had to be really cool. So great stuff for sure. Appreciate Rico taking some time. The Ford F-150 is America's best-selling full-size pickup for good reason. It delivers an unsurpassed combination of power, capability, and efficiency. There's not a sprint car out there that it can't push, tow, pull, or haul.
The F-150 offers best-in-class payload and up to 13,200 pounds of available towing, thanks to its most advanced powertrain lineup ever, including a 3.0-liter Power-Stroke turbo diesel V6. Ford F-150 built Ford tough.
Stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are.
We are.
We are Team Dryden.
Wing Nation presented by Dryden, DRF Racing, and by Hercules Tires. Hydraulic solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. Well, that's what aggressive hydraulics is all about. For instance, listen to this list: agriculture, construction, defense, emergency services, energy, food processing, forestry, marining, mining, railway, truck equipment, and the list goes on and on. It's absolutely amazing the number of industries aggressive hydraulics is involved with.
And they design and manufacture mobile-style single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. They have a no one-size-fits-all approach. Check out their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Yeah, I brought in a catalog a couple weeks ago. I meant to ask Erin if
Your
she's got
test
memorized.
is your test is
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
coming up.
I'm
prepping it.
Boy, I'm telling you what, it's amazing to see the diversity of their line. That is for sure. What is not amazing when it comes to diversity is the number of races we have coming up, Erin. The list is getting smaller and smaller.
Sad time of year.
World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. We talked to Shane Stewart earlier this week. Kokomo Speedway this Saturday night. One of the things we've talked about was this point battle, and if we don't pay attention too long, it's starting to sneak away a little bit. Brad's starting to get the upper hand on this thing. 62 up over Logan and 82 up over Donnie. Brad's gotten back on his high horse, it seems like, and he's rolling again. So
definitely consistent in those top fives.
Yeah, because he was third on Friday night and second on Saturday night. And boy, that you're not going to gain 62 points with only 3 races left.
Mm-hmm.
You're with Brad doing that. So we'll see what happens. But Dirt Vision going to have it there. Fast sprints, they're on Atomic Speedway, the KC Classic, $6,700 to win on Saturday night. The Posse is at Baps Motor Speedway, and they're going to have fun with it. Lucas Oil ASCS, the national tour, their season has concluded. We talked to Sam Haferteep on Tuesday. Sooner Region in Longdale, Oklahoma at the racetrack there. My plan this weekend is going to be at Fayetteville Speedway in North Carolina, the 305s. The Carolina Sprint Tour is going to be there. So I'm looking forward to hanging with some sprint car friends this weekend. Love those guys.
Getting a lot of races in.
I really, truly, this is really working out all right. Not great, but it's working out. I'm going to be awful close to 100 races this year when I get done with all the NASCAR stuff and everything else. And that's kind of, I've been well over that most years, and I didn't think I would get it, but I've been able to piece together with some Carolina Sprint Tour races, some local racing here. Last Friday night, I was lucky. Last Friday night is kind of like in race chasing terms, I caught a double because I was able to get the ARCA race done at Kansas Speedway and get up and
get to Lakeside.
Lakeside, and that was just spectacular to catch up on my world. I hadn't seen the World of Outlaws since Volusia. You've been shut out all year.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you don't want to. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, there you go. So if there are races in your area, get to them because there are fewer and fewer on the docket, that is for sure. Our friends at Plan B Sales was founded in 2010, started as a Lionel and Chase Authentics distributor. Now Auto World, Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, University of Racing, huge inventory, partnerships with a lot of our sprint car friends like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and others. Use the promo code MRN for free shipping on orders over $20. www.planbsales.com. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Now, coming up this weekend, tonight, if you're listening to this on Thursday on Rev and Saturday on Mav, TK, Tim Katie.
Always entertaining.
Always entertaining. I mentioned this on Tuesday. We talked about vodka, we talked about rum, and we talked about beer. And we talked about his son.
I said I was shocked.
Yes, exactly. And we talked about his son, and always a good visit with TK. So you want to check that out on our TV networks. You can find out all about Wing Nation apparel at www.wingnation.com. There's an apparel link right there, wingnation.com. And you can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, and on our YouTube page all weekend long as we continue the conversation that we wrap up here. So follow along with us as well there. So, I'm excited. I love when I have a few sprint car races on the docket. And the sprint car community, it's funny because these guys in this 305 World Carolina, they've kind of become friends.
Yeah.
In fact, there's 3 or 4 or 5 of them now that are Facebook friends. And you start to see their lives, and they're the ones that are not running motor coaches up and down.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are trying to get kids to learn to go to school or not go to school, and have a rear end of a sprint car all across their garage on Friday night before a Saturday night race, and one of their buddies standing there drinking a beer while he's fixing it. So it's been fun getting to know these guys. So I love it getting out this weekend. So get out to some sprint car races along the way. Good chatting with you, Hank. Good hanging out with you this week.
Nice to be back.
Nice to be back on special assignment for sure. She's Erin Evernham. I'm Steve Post. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Dryden, by DRF Racing Oils, and by Hercules Tires.